Warning signs. 3 dangerous breads you should avoid to protect your brain after 60. You might be noticing a little more brain fog or forgetting where you put your keys. You've probably been told this is just a normal part of getting older. But what if I told you that one of your favorite breakfast foods could be silently feeding that decline, damaging your brain's memory centers and increasing your risk of cognitive decline by over 30%? We're talking about bread. This isn't about gluten intolerance. This is about a hidden inflammatory process triggered by certain breads that starves your brain of oxygen, shrinks your gray matter, and is silently stealing your memories. Most people have no idea they're doing this every day. If you've been struggling with focus, memory, or just don't feel as sharp as you used to, this video is for you. We'll show you how to protect your most valuable asset, your brain, with a simple change. In this video, we'll expose the 3 most dangerous breads you must avoid to protect your brain after 60, ranked from least to most toxic. And then we'll reveal the one simple bread you should be eating instead to boost your brain health. The number 1 offender on our list is a bread many doctors recommend, which is the most shocking part of all. But first, do you feel a difference in your memory or focus after a bread-heavy meal? Share your experiences in the comments below, because we're reading and replying to each and every comment. Starting our list at number 3, we have the so-called health food everyone trusts: whole wheat bread. For decades, we've been told to choose it over white bread. But the modern version of this food is a silent saboteur of your brain health. Here's why it's so dangerous. The truth is, most whole wheat bread today is made from refined, fast-digesting wheat flour. This causes a rapid and dramatic spike in your blood sugar. When this happens, your body's stress response kicks in, releasing a cascade of inflammatory signals. Think of it like a sugar shockwave that travels throughout your body, and your brain is right in its path. This constant cycle of blood sugar spikes and crashes leads to chronic, low-grade inflammation in your brain. For seniors, this is especially risky. The brain is already vulnerable to age-related decline, and this constant inflammation can damage the delicate neurons in your hippocampus, the very part of your brain responsible for forming new memories. It's like a slow erosion of your cognitive function, where each spike in blood sugar wears away at your ability to think clearly and remember things. This is not just a theory, it is a scientifically established fact. A 2022 study in the journal Nutrients found a direct link between high glycemic diets and a 20% faster rate of cognitive decline in older adults. That trusted whole wheat bread could be contributing to the very memory loss you're trying to prevent. So, while we've been told that whole wheat bread is the healthy choice, for a mature brain, it can be a constant source of inflammatory stress, silently chipping away at your memory and focus. Now, if that's number 3, you might be wondering what could possibly be worse. At number 2, we have a classic bread that's dangerous not just for what it has, but for what it is missing. Next on our list, at number 2, is the classic enriched white bread. The danger here isn't just what's in it, but what's been stripped away. To create that soft, uniform texture and long shelf life, enriched white bread undergoes an industrial process that removes the wheat kernel's most nutrient-dense components, the bran and the germ. This is where all the natural fibers, vitamins, and minerals live. What's left is a highly refined flour that acts a lot like sugar in your body. But it gets worse. To make up for this nutritional void, manufacturers then add back a handful of synthetic nutrients, a process known as enrichment. The problem is, these man-made vitamins are often not as bioavailable as their natural counterparts. Your body struggles to absorb and use them effectively, so you're not getting the full benefit. You're getting an illusion of nutrition. For a senior's brain, this lack of real, whole food nutrition is a serious issue. You're missing out on vital B vitamins and magnesium, which are crucial for neural communication and energy production. Deficiencies in these nutrients are directly linked to the very issues you're trying to avoid, like brain fog, fatigue, and a feeling of mental sluggishness. A 2021 review in the journal Frontiers in Neuroscience highlighted the essential role of B vitamins and magnesium in protecting against age-related cognitive decline. There's a historical truth to this. In the mid-20th century, white bread was a status symbol of wealth. It showed you could afford to remove the inferior parts of the grain. But as a society, we traded nutrient density for convenience and aesthetic appeal, and our brains have been paying the price ever since. So enriched white bread is a double-edged sword. It offers a quick energy rush that leads to a sugar crash, and it starves your brain of the very nutrients it needs to thrive. But if you think that's bad, you won't believe what's number one. It's a bread many of you probably think is the healthiest choice of all. And finally, at number 1, the most shocking bread on our list, sprouted grain bread. This bread is hailed as the king of healthy breads, a choice that seems to tick all the boxes. But for your brain, it can be a silent saboteur. The premise behind sprouted grain bread is that by sprouting the grain, it reduces phytic acid, making some nutrients more accessible. This is true. However, for a mature gut, this process can also lead to an increased concentration of certain lectins. Lectins are a type of protein that can be highly inflammatory for a sensitive gut. They can bind to the lining of your intestines, causing irritation and what's often referred to as leaky gut. For years, doctors have been investigating the gut-brain axis, a two-way communication highway between your digestive system and your brain. When you have inflammation in your gut, it sends signals directly to your brain, creating what's known as neuroinflammation. This is a primary driver of cognitive issues like memory loss and brain fog that are often mistaken for normal aging. The senior gut is often more sensitive and less resilient, making it especially vulnerable to these inflammatory compounds. What feels like a healthy choice in a younger body can become a constant source of low-grade inflammation in a mature body, silently contributing to cognitive decline. I've seen many patients who were proud to tell me they ate sprouted grain bread because their doctor or a friend had said it was the healthiest choice. What they didn't realize is that while it may be beneficial for younger, more resilient bodies, it can be a silent trigger for inflammation and cognitive issues in a mature body. A study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found a strong correlation between gut health, inflammation, and the risk of cognitive decline. Sprouted grain bread is dangerous precisely because it's a health food that can trigger an inflammatory response that directly impacts the brain's delicate function. Now that you know the 3 breads to avoid, you're probably asking a much more important question. What bread can I eat? And the answer isn't just about the bread itself, but a crucial synergy secret that turns a simple meal into a brain-boosting powerhouse. Now that you know the 3 breads to avoid, you're probably asking, what bread can I eat? And more importantly, what can I pair it with to truly boost my brain power? The secret isn't just in the bread itself, but in a delicious combination that turns a simple meal into a brain-boosting powerhouse. The solution is properly fermented sourdough bread. Unlike the breads we've just discussed, traditional sourdough undergoes a long fermentation process that breaks down the gluten and reduces its inflammatory potential. This makes it far gentler on your gut, which, as we've learned, is a direct line to your brain. This bread isn't a silver bullet, but it offers a far lower inflammatory load, allowing your brain to function without being under constant attack. But here's the synergy secret that unlocks its true potential. You must pair it with a healthy fat. We're talking about things like a generous drizzle of high-quality extra virgin olive oil or a generous serving of avocado. These foods are a treasure trove of monounsaturated fats, which are the brain's preferred source of fuel. Your brain is over 60% fat, and it relies on these healthy fats to build new neural pathways, protect brain cells, and improve communication between them. By pairing a brain-friendly bread with a brain-fueling fat, you're not just avoiding a problem, you're actively promoting mental sharpness. For example, consider an engineer named Phelan. He'd been struggling with a mid-afternoon slump, a mental fog that made focusing on complex projects nearly impossible. He had cut out white bread, but he was still eating sourdough toast with a low-fat spread. Once he switched that spread for a thick layer of fresh avocado and a sprinkle of nuts, the difference was immediate. The healthy fats provided a steady source of fuel, eliminating the crashes he used to experience, while the sourdough avoided the inflammatory spike. His afternoon focus returned, and he felt a clarity he hadn't experienced in years. This simple pairing is a powerful tool you can start using today. Knowing which breads to avoid and which ones to choose is just the beginning. There are 3 common daily habits that are silently destroying your brain, no matter how healthy your diet is. If you're making these mistakes, you're constantly fighting an uphill battle against cognitive decline. Mistake number 3, the low-fat mindset trap. Mistake number 3 is a habit many of us learned decades ago, the belief that a low-fat diet is best for health. We were told to cut fat to save our hearts, and many people have held on to that advice for years. But this is a myth we must unlearn to protect our minds. The fact is, your brain is over 60% fat and requires a steady supply of healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocado, and fatty fish to function properly. Starving your brain of these essential building blocks can lead to a breakdown in neural communication, memory loss, and a higher risk of cognitive decline. New science shows that healthy fats are not the enemy. They are the crucial fuel for a healthy brain. Mistake number 2, the dehydration mistake. Mistake number 2 is a silent culprit that affects millions of seniors: chronic, low-grade dehydration. You may not feel thirsty, but as we get older, our body's thirst signals can diminish. Even a small amount of dehydration can cause the brain to shrink temporarily, leading to brain fog,
poor concentration, and fatigue. Many people mistakenly think this is just a sign of aging, when in fact it's a direct result of not drinking enough water. A simple solution to what feels like age-related brain fog could be as simple as adding a consistent hydration routine. Mistake number 1. The medication interaction trap. And the most overlooked and dangerous mistake of all at number 1 is not being aware of how your medication interacts with food. This is a serious warning. Many common medications for conditions like high blood pressure and high cholesterol can have side effects that cause brain fog or, more dangerously, impact the absorption of key brain nutrients. I've seen cases where patients on statins or beta blockers for years experienced chronic brain fog that they simply chalked up to getting older. Once we looked at their diet and how it might be interacting with their medication, we found a clear link. Always have an open discussion with your doctor about your diet and any side effects you might be experiencing. Now, let's bring it all together. We've covered a lot of ground, but the solution is powerful and within your reach. We exposed the 3 dangerous breads you must avoid to protect your brain: the high glycemic whole wheat, the nutrient-starved enriched white bread, and the potentially inflammatory sprouted grain bread. But we didn't stop there. We also revealed the secret to protecting your brain: choosing a properly fermented sourdough bread and pairing it with a healthy fat like avocado or olive oil to provide your brain with the fuel it needs. And finally, we highlighted the 3 silent mistakes that can sabotage your cognitive function: the low-fat mindset, chronic dehydration, and ignoring how your medication interacts with your food. You now have a complete, actionable plan. You have the power to make simple, daily choices that will not only improve your memory and focus today, but also protect your brain for years to come. This isn't about being perfect, it's about making better choices. What's one change you're going to make to protect your brain? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you and are ready to support you on this journey.